Greetings, family, kings and queens. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joy Medina, and I want to thank you for joining me on today. I want to just give you a brief introduction of who I am. I am a believer, I am a mother, and I am a life coach. And I discuss topics that have to deal with empowering, equipping, and encouraging you to transition from a life of constant lack, unsuccess, and disappointments and failures. And I want you to transition to a life of provision, a life of passion, a life of potential, and a life of purpose. The topics that I deal with and I discuss on this channel have to do with self-growth, self-identity, self-development, both personally and professionally. Also purpose, dating, singleness, marriage, divorce, all those topics, all those things that we deal with in life that either can hinder us from walking in our purpose or truly be a blessing in our life when it comes to fulfilling the call that God has for our life here on earth. So I want to welcome you. And if that's something that connects with your spirit, I would love for you to subscribe so you can become part of the family and don't miss out on any future videos. So, I also do have an Instagram if you want to kind of connect with me more on a casual and daily basis. My handle is A Life of Joy 29. Okay, guys, I want to get into the topic for today. These were some tips that I had to seriously think about when it comes to me becoming and getting to a place of being more serious about my life, where I'm going, what I want to accomplish, and the partner that I'm looking for, or the partner that I am desiring God to bring into my life. And these are 7 things that I had to kind of be truthful with myself about and to make the decision to stop doing so that I could become more focused on my purpose, my passion, and my potential in Christ. And I want to share these things with you because many of us say that we desire a successful relationship. We want to be blessed in that area. We want a partner to come alongside us and to just be able to share life, love, and liberty with. But a lot of us are still operating in old mindsets, in old habits, and old ways of thinking that are keeping us from progressing and growing in this area. And if this is something that we can recognize within ourselves and seek to make a change, then we can stop wasting time and move forward with what we want to do in life and with who we want to do it in life with. And so for me, I had to kind of define what I wanted a successful marriage to be in my life. I think it's different for each person. I think there are some things that are the same, but I think overall it's, it could vary from person to person. And so for me, I think the most important thing I had to do first and foremost is define, what do I mean by a successful marriage? And for me, a successful marriage consists of God first and foremost. If you don't believe in God, that is on you, and there's no discrimination, no hate, or no disrespect or anything like that. But for me, what I dealt with in my prior marriage of not being equally yoked with someone, I think it was very important, especially if I have a strong relationship and foundation with God. I consider that very vital and important in my life. And so now as I move forward from what I've learned and gained and the wisdom that I've gained from my previous marriage, I know that God has to be our foundation. So for me, it was God, obviously love. And when I say love, I mean things like passion, appreciation, valuing the person, respecting the person, partnership. I think where I'm at in my life and where God is trying to take me, it is vital to have partnership. And I don't think every marriage is a partnership. I think there is some marriage where it's like you're together, but you're not together. So one person is literally off doing this and another person is off doing that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking that, guys. If that's what you desire in your marriage, and if that's working in your marriage or in your relationship, then by all means, continue what you're doing. They have a saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But for me and the passion that I have for my purpose and what I believe God has called me to do, at this point in life, and having gone through a marriage where we were very separate, we were very incompatible, I am now kind of desiring partnership. I want somebody that I can come alongside with, and we can do this ministry together. We can partner together in ministry, in life, in friendship, and all those different aspects of a relationship. And then compatibility. Y'all, that's a sigh within itself. A lot of times we judge relationships based on how fine they are, how good they are in bed and things like that. And we are not judging our relationship. We're judging it more on attraction than compatibility. And compatibility is vitally and extremely important. You two you're going to share a life together. And in order for you to share a life together successfully, there needs to be compatibility, plain and simple. So I did do a video on 10 ways to evaluate a potential spouse. And if you have not seen that, I'm going to put a link in the description box below so you can check that out. But before you enter into the dating world, I think it's vitally important that you understand what exactly you're looking for. And not only that, but the things that you possibly could be doing that are hindering you from having a successful relationship or being in a successful relationship. And so I think the goal at the end of the day is to break the cycle of bad relationships. We need to break that cycle, and we need to start creating and fostering healthy, strong, and stable relationships that will go on into the future and build our legacies. When God created us, he created us to be fruitful and multiply. And so in order for us to do that in the best way possible, there are a lot of things that we have to consider when it comes to bad habits that we picked up in choosing a partner, and just bad habits that we have learned through culture, through maybe bad parenting, through society, on being single and preparing yourself for that partner. And so I just want to say that these are the things that I had to recognize within myself, and I had to be truthful with myself and say that, you know what, I don't want to make the same mistake that I made in my last marriage, and I want to evaluate the ways and the habits and the mindsets that I've been thinking and the bad behaviors that I've been putting into practice that possibly is hindering me from meeting my partner, from producing an environment for my partner to be revealed to me. And so the first one that I'm going to give is advertising yourself short in public. You want to present yourself as valuable as you want to be taken and as serious as you want to be taken. We have to be mindful of the image that we display in social media, in public, because how we display ourselves is how we're going to be perceived. And a lot of times we want people to see our hearts, but you guys, you have to understand, when they go on your social media, they don't see straight into you as the Lord does, right? They're going to see the image that you portray on the screen. And so you have to ask yourself, is your content attracting royalty, or is your content attracting a royal mess? Are you baiting and bringing in based off of lust or based off of loyalty? And I had to be honest with myself. I wouldn't say that because I've been a believer for a long time, so I am very mindful of the things that I put on social media. But even as of recent, I had to even start going back and looking over my content and saying, you know what, I am ready for someone, and I need him to see that I am ready and that I'm serious and I'm about my business. Your girl is on her grind. So I had to even go back and re-look at the things that I was posting and that I was maybe putting up or doing. And so you have to understand, while social media, and it's hard, y'all, it's hard because social media kind of trains us to put out content that's popular. And if you think about what's popular nowadays, it's going to be sexuality, it's going to be just shenanigans and foolery, and it's going to be all these things that are trying to draw people in on a carnal mindset, on a carnal basis. And if I had to think within myself, I want different, and if I want different, I have to be different. And while it may not attract a quantity of likes, sometimes I'm like, man, I only got 12 likes, man, to a goodness. While it may not attract a quantity of likes, I know ultimately, and I have to walk in faith that ultimately it will attract the quality of likes that I'm seeking. It's at the end of the day, y'all, it's not about quantity, it's going to be about quality. And so you have to make that decision in yourself. It's not something that anyone can do for you. You have to be convicted in yourself, to be honest with yourself on how you are presenting your public image to the world. Because, with all the quality of likes that you'll get when you start making those changes, one of them will be your partner. So I want to give you guys a verse, Proverbs 22:1. It says, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold. Y'all, my name is all that I have. All this stuff, materials will come and go. They'll be in my life for a season, and then I may switch or upgrade to something else. But what will never leave me and what will continue with me on into my entire life is my reputation, is my name. And so I'm very serious about my name. Put some respect on it. All right, number 2, getting intimate with people who have not earned that level of intimacy. Okay, y'all, this is a vital one, because for me, it wasn't so much about sexual intercourse. I already knew, honey, you're not getting the cookies unless you marry this. I mean, that's just plain and simple. So I already had that solidified in myself. However, what I struggled with was more on the flirting aspect and entertaining gentlemen who I kind of knew we were not right for each other as far as going to that level of intimacy that we did. And I apologize to anyone who received that from me, because it's really not who I am, and I make no excuses for it. But when you sometimes are not focused, and you are not when you're not focused, you're operating maybe in a place of, man, I'm feeling a little lonely right now, I'm feeling a little vulnerable right now, and it's nice to have someone to talk to. And I had to get to the place where I had to be okay and comfortable with not having men in my DMs, with not having men on my text messages, with not having men in my call log. And y'all, it's not easy. It's not easy, because when you are a person who is used to a certain amount of attention, it's something that's going to challenge you as a person. It's something that's going to challenge you. But I don't want any type of man anymore. I want a certain type of man. And every man that comes into my life is not privileged to see a certain side of me. It's not privileged to engage in a certain level of intimacy with me. And it's nothing on their behalf. I'm not saying that they're horrible men or anything like that. It's where I'm at in my life and what I'm desiring and looking for and where I want to go. At this point, y'all, no games played, no time wasted. And so while some might perceive that as being conceited, stuck up, arrogant, at the end of the day, I really don't care, because you are not the one that's directed my purpose. You are not the one that has given me my call, and you are not the one that's going to supply me with my spouse. Plain and simple. So I had to get over that. I had to be serious with myself and be serious with how I engage with others. Okay. Number 3, staying in situationships with people who aren't right for you. You know, look, I want to get to my destination, not necessarily as quickly, but in the season that I'm supposed to get there. And I'm tired of wasting unnecessary time dealing with things that are not going to prosper me or are not going to be beneficial and fruitful for my life. And so that means that I have to get to a place where I'm not wasting any more time with people who are unsure of what they want to do, unsure of where they want to go, or unsure of if I'm the one for them. And it's okay. It's okay. Y'all, everyone is not going to be right for you. And that's another place that you have to get comfortable with yourself and understanding that everyone is not going to be right for you. You cannot please everyone. People are looking for different things at different points of their life, in different seasons of their life. And sometimes you don't fit in that box of what they're looking for. It doesn't mean you're any less beautiful or handsome. It doesn't mean you're any less smart or intelligent, or that you're any less of a good man or woman. It means that maybe they're not at the place where they need to be to appreciate and to value a good man or woman. And so we have to be at a place where we're comfortable of saying, I don't want a situationship. I know exactly what I want. I want to be in a marriage. I want to be in a lifetime commitment. I want to transition from situationship to commitment. And that's something that you have to solidify within yourself. Y'all, life is too short. I don't got time to play games anymore. You know, I've entered in a stage of my life where I'm about my business and I'm about the Father's business. All right, number 4, neglecting time for personal growth and purpose. Y'all, this is super important because it is the roadmap that you need to give you that criteria of who to look for. If you do not know where you're going in life, if you do not know how you're going to get there, if you do not know what your passion is, what the potential that you have in you, and your purpose in life, meaning you're going to be confused on who you're looking for. So when any person comes along, any man, any woman, you're not going to have the list. You're not going to have the criteria that you need to say, no, you're not right. This is not working. We're not right for each other. So you have to take time to work on you. Honestly, when I separated from my ex 3 years ago, though I slipped a little here and there as far as flirting and again, engaging in situationships, I understood that I really needed to work on myself. And for the majority of these 3 years, I have been working on myself. I have been learning the things that I need to learn, gaining the knowledge and the wisdom and the information that I needed to gain so that I can make informed and wise decisions when it comes to my life and when it comes to the future man that's going to be in my life. So you need to figure out who you are, what you want out of life, and who you want to do life with. And that's going to come from you taking the time to invest in yourself. Your spouse wants to know that you've invested in yourself and taken the time to do so. So, number 5, rushing the introduction process. Y'all, there's a saying that great things take time. I think that's the mistake that I made in my previous marriage. He came in a whirlwind, and in less than like 2 months, we were married. Y'all, I know some of y'all have done it out there and it works, and it worked for you, and you guys are still happy, still blossoming. I tip my hat off to you. But what I experienced in my last relationship, I want to take things a little bit slower because this, for me, is going to be my last time, y'all. It's going to be my last time, and I want to make sure that I know that I know, okay? Again, I don't want to put God in a box, but I know from my own wisdom and knowledge that I've gained, great things take time. And when you need the time to get to know the person, because you need to get to know if they're right for you. You guys need to have those conversations. You need to see how that person responds in different situations. And that takes time. I don't know how else can you possibly skip over that part unless God literally comes from heaven and wakes you up in the middle of the night and say that's your spouse. There's no other way but to take time. Take time. Stop rushing things. If you rush too soon to the altar, you may find yourself rushing too soon to the divorce court. Take time, because you got the next 40, 50 years. I wouldn't rush it. I wouldn't rush anything that, one, maybe they're not ready for, or you both are not ready for, or you're not right for each other. Remember, any blessing given before its season, before its time, a lot of times it turns into a curse. So take the time to be where you need to be as a person and to see where they need to be as a person, and does that match up and line up with you? Okay, number 6, making excuses for clear red flags. Let's decide in 2022 that we're not going to do any more excuses. If it isn't clear, if it isn't right, we're not going to try to justify it, plain and simple. Especially on the part if it isn't clear. God is a God of clarity. God is a God of revelation. God is a God of something being very clear. Okay, so if you're having issues, if you're having plain outright issues with red flags, that's all the confirmation that you need, right? You don't need $5 million to fall out heaven if this is real or not. No, there are clear red flags that should be confirmation enough for you to use your common sense that God gave you to say that this person is not the one for me. But let's go into the part where maybe you're not clear about things. They're sending mixed signals. They're 1 minute you feel that you're connected, next minute you feel disconnected. I'm going to tell you right now, when you're dealing with that level of confusion, that is not of God. God is not a God of confusion. So either you confused, he confused, or God confused. And I already know God ain't confused. So we can already cross that off the list. God is a God of order, and God is a God of clarity and confirmation. If you are experiencing any type of confusion, that is not of God. And one thing that we definitely need to do that we're not doing enough of is listening to our intuition. Our intuition is that God-given alarm system that he's given us for times such as this, for times when things are not necessarily clear, and you don't know which kind of direction to go. A lot of times that confirmation or that answer will come in the form of a tuition, in the form of our tuition. And we need to stop ignoring that, because if our intuition is set off, that should indicate that's a red flag in and of itself. So listen to your intuition, listen to your common sense, and listen to the knowledge and the wisdom that you should be gaining for taking the time to grow taking that personal time to grow within yourself. Okay, number 7, stop being impatient for the right one. Y'all, let's just join hands together. We need to stop being impatient. I know it's hard. Look, I'm a single mom, and for the most part, I'm okay. For the most part, I'm not going to lie. I'm busy raising my children. I'm busy with my business. I'm busy now working on videos for you guys. I'm busy keeping my body healthy, keeping my skin glowy. And I'm just busy with enjoying my life, y'all. Traveling, going here and there. Y'all, I'm enjoying my life. So for the most part, I'm okay. But there are times where, just being a single mom is difficult. And sometimes I don't have that personal me time. Sometimes I don't have that help that I feel or that I expect that I should have as being a mother. I didn't make kids by myself. I can't auto procreate, but I understand that right now is not the time. And when the time comes, I just want to be ready. So I don't want to rush anything. And let me tell you something. I want my husband to see me enjoying my life. Like, I don't want him to see me broke, busted, and disgusted in until I have a man. That's not your spouse. Your future spouse needs to know that you are happy and you are living a life of joy just within yourself, so that they are at peace, that when you two come together, you will increase that joy, you will increase that happiness instead of trying to leech it off the other person. Because let me tell you, when he comes and steps into the picture, I want to see that he's happy. I want to see that he's living a fulfilled life. Is he doing what God has called him to do? Or is he waiting on a spouse? Would I like to be in this ministry with someone? Absolutely. I don't know if some of y'all who know me know that when I was in my marriage, there was a short, brief period of time where my ex and I were making videos together. And I know God has called me to this ministry. I know God has called me to a ministry of marriages and helping to build and create and to stabilize strong, godly marriages. And so sometimes I wish I had that covering. That's one of the things I will say I miss about being in a relationship, is that there is a certain level of covering as a woman that you have. And I appreciate that. And I desire to have that again, but I desire it from the right person. I desire it from a true partner. And so I am willing to wait as long as it takes in order to receive truly what God has for me. And culture will have us, feeling kind of bad about it, feeling condemned about it. And I want to let you know, don't ever feel condemned that you are waiting on a good thing. Don't ever feel condemned that you want the right person in your life, because this is a lifelong commitment and you don't want to get a divorce. I would hope that's not our desire when we walk down that altar, is to not end in a divorce. And so in order for you to be sure that you need to take the time. You need to be patient. Patience is actually one of the virtues of love. And that's something that you can start practicing here and now in your singleness as you wait. Y'all, I'm done. I am done. I don't have any more tips. I know there are plenty more tips that could be given. And if you guys know any tips on what you should not be doing, so that you can prepare yourself for a successful marriage, a successful relationship, I would love to hear them in the comment section below. But we need to overall ask ourselves, are we ready? Are we working on ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, so that we can be at a place where we are ready to receive all that God has for us? And are we being honest with ourselves on the mentalities, the perspectives, and the mindsets, and the habits and actions that we're doing that possibly could be hindering us from walking in that blessing of holy matrimony? Y'all, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. If there's anything that I can say as you wait, as you go through this process, is that enjoy your life. This is, there's a quote that said, find joy in the journey. And you need to do that, because when you finally get to that place where you're married and you guys are in love, you can look back on your singleness and say, you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that season that I was in, and I'm grateful for the season that now God has brought me to. And I just want to encourage you guys and I hope that these points were helpful. I hope that you found some clarity, some knowledge, some understanding in what I shared today. And I just want what's best for you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be walking in purpose, and I want you to have your partner. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about any of the tips that I've given today, want me to clarify anything, please do not hesitate to let me know. You can let me know in the comment section below, or you can email me at alifeofjoy29@gmail.com. I'll provide the information for that in the description box below. Okay, guys, I don't have anything else for this video. I'm going to let you guys go. Be blessed on today. Enjoy this day, and know that you are loved, you are special, and God has great plans for you if you will submit to His will. Bless.